why were we expecting too much from the matatu operators to carry this burden for us?
Yeah. I mean, it's bequeathed on them to.
They're just businessmen.
To had steered this conversation, because actually this was running through their docket of transport. And first of all, let me say that they had a goodwill to lead, you know, this industrial strike, actually to show the public the initiative that, you know, this government could be held to account. They can be told to stop. Somebody can call them to order. But I think from that extent, you know, Fred, we give the honor where it's due. These stakeholders were very critical at this particular stage to, you know, begin.
But they are business.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
They will just simply hike their fares and cover this money and move on.
No. At this important juncture, I think I really like to congratulate them for the initiative of taking, at least for some point, some Kenyans need to say enough is enough.
Then why are Kenyans feeling so betrayed by matatu?
That is what they did. Secondly, for me, it might really not be a perfect conversation. And I agree with what Dr. is talking about. That you see, when you have a negotiation of this particular magnitude, there's a lot that needs to take place in the mediation process. I mean, I think that is probably why they were not advised properly. Sometimes I believe that, say from the environment itself, I mean, the issues of guarantee or not, I was for sure could be government that could facilitate probably a neutral ground for this mediation. And it ought to have been on public, on record and on camera, so that the whole country to actually be tuned and listen to the conversation that was going on. Because as Dr. has mentioned, and some of us are going to know, even Peter, the caller, has actually admitted that to some level they took a lot of time, and other people were not in agreement with some of the conversation they had. Other people within the stakeholders felt that they were actually not satisfied by that level of conversation. Number two, it was odd for them. There was no rush, actually, because the magnitude and the number of stakeholders, they're talking about 800 chairmen or chairpersons. I mean, there could be a process of, you know, internal conversation and wide. How would we get into a negotiation with government? There was no hurry. The president was out. They could have waited for the president, if he was the, you know, the person that was mattering in this conversation, to have come back within that time. You know, a cross-board stakeholders conversation could have been done over 800 or over 1,000 stakeholders, so that a meaningful public consultation within the transport industry could have been reached. But also, I still feel, and you confirm from the caller himself that they are not even sure. I mean, his statement is not even sure that, you know, that conversation can hold. Because he's talking about, you know, trembling conversation that is going, you could pick that from his voice, that indeed they gave time for the consultation for president to come. And admitting the reality is about our political issues, that parliament is defunct. That is what he was talking about.
Yes, but
that
we
don't
still
have a
had
parliament,
confidence.
that the executive, you know, giving power to the Supreme Executive. I think it's not acceptable, friend.
And that is what they based their decision on. But from an economic standpoint, any businessman who has had to shut down their business for a day or two would be under pressure to return to normalcy. Do you feel that probably we're burdening this group, matatu operators, a bit too much? Then they were killed.